today to follow up on that story that I did about 3 days ago?
A few days ago.
Over here in Forest Park. Once again, we're out here at Forest Park, historic Forest Park, over on Lime Street and Forest Street. Right in the heart of Mixon Town, which is adjacent to the I-10, Stockton Street, what they used to call Brooklyn, on that other side of 10. But I want to be very clear where I'm at. I'm in Mixon Town, in the heart of Mixon Town. And I want to discuss with y'all some updates of what I found out. And I want to show you something while we're here. This building, this structure here, was actually owned by a black icon named Mary McLeod Bethune. And as you know, she started Bethune-Cookman College in Daytona. And she used to own this building and work out of this building. And that's part of this whole story that I wanted to bring you to update. So we're going to go in and talk about it. And I want you to get a good idea of the land that we're talking about. This is prime real estate land. It used to be an old ash site dump.
It's
Cremator down there. And once again, the reason why I'm involved in the story is because my good friend Walter Ponder called me and told me about Walter Jordan. Walter Jordan told me about this story, and we're out here to follow up. Now, the story got a lot of traction, and from what I understand, Councilman Reggie Gaffney came out and talked about his love of the park. Well, we love that he loved the park, but we would love for him to help save the park from any kind of backsided deals and secretive deals that are going on that is undermining the democratic process and transparency that we need in this city. And I want to talk about it because I came prepared with some facts today and some updated facts. And so I'm going to let Walter give you a little background because he grew up in this area, and once again acquaint you with what his history is and why this property means so much to him.
Hi everyone. This area means a lot to me. First of all, I was raised here on the other side of the tracks. Went to Forest Park. Used to walk to school, whether it rained or not. Walked to Forest Park. It was right on the other side there. There was a incinerator right on the other side. They burnt all the garbage every day, and as the incinerator burnt the garbage, because all the incinerators of the city was in black communities, the city made that decision thinking at 20 where we're going to put the incinerators in black communities. Well, they burnt trash, they burned stuff, and the ash went up and came down. It was full of lead and other contamination. So we found out we had a lot of lead contamination, a lot of other contaminations and pollutants in the ground, where we played at, where we breathed as we went to school. Later on, the schools was closed down because of contamination and pollution. So when they closed it down, the city said that they were going to remediate the area. They were going to clean up the ash, clean up everything, and give it back. Well, lo and behold, fast forward to today, we found out they weren't cleaning up anything. They had a sweetheart deal with the government to sell the property. What's this guy's name?
Okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to show the guy that we're talking about, and we're going to follow up on the ordinance. Thank you, by the way, for introducing that part of it. The bill type and number that they introduced was called Ordinance 2019-138. And the sponsors were Council members Anderson, Boyer, Ferraro, Schellenberg, co-sponsored by Council members Terrence Freeman, Reginald Gaffney from District 7, Sam Newby, which is an at-large person that is running, Randy White, District 12, Wilson, Beckton, Councilman, the President of the Council, Aaron Bowman, Gulliford, and of course for this district, Mr. Dennis. And so we want to explain what happened. So the date of this introduction of the bill was February the 26th. And they have an authorization to sell this property from the city of Jacksonville. I want y'all to see this. With a company called Vescor Family Foundation, a Florida corporation. And they're buying this property and they're waiving section 122.421, the preservation of parklands. And one of the problems was they're supposed to preserve and rebuild public property when they sell public property. Now, one of the problems is they are saying that they are going to replace the public park, but it will not be in this area that is neglected for public parks. So let's get that straight. When we say Reggie Gaffney was involved, he was a co-sponsor. And from my understanding, they went over on Stockton Street, and I actually talked to some of the people over there to try to get their buy-in. But it was not the people in this side of the area or over here in Mixontown that they have no buy-in for the proposed charter school that they're going to be putting out here. And that's part of the problem. We do not have the community buy-in, and they're doing this back-sided deal. What we talked about, the lack of transparency, and and it's just shady. That's what it is. And it's a land grab. And they're going to pay $1.4 million to the city for this. Now, here's the part you don't know. The Vescor is also owned by this guy, John Rood. And I don't know what his, John Rood, R-O-O-D, John Rood. And he's been a contributor to Lenny Curry, our mayor's campaign. His family, Sonia, Jay Neal, all of them, they have contributed over and over to Mayor Lenny Curry's campaign. One of the things you should know, and I want to show you, here's Reggie Gaffney, and this is our council member that co-sponsored the deal, who said he loved the park, but co-sponsored to sell this park for a sweetheart deal, right? That doesn't really want to replace and remediate the issue that is here. So this is it. And this is the document he sent out. He didn't send out to everybody, just a select few got this. What is this? Working with the city leaders, he's endorsed by the mayor. Now this isn't me making this up. This is from his campaign. So don't say I lied on him or nothing. Here it is, right here in black and white. Okay, the second part of this that I want y'all to know that it came before me, and I want to read this to you. This was from a dedicated person in our community named Julie Delagal. And she was on Facebook and she wrote this, and I want to read it to you. Vescor is a regular contributor to Curry's PAC. Remember, charter schools mean the property will be tax exempt. And on top of that, charter schools receive state funds for capital improvements. So instead of paying taxes to our government and instead of paying market price for the piece of property, this developer will receive prime real estate far below market value, as well as additional funds for capital needs. All because it invests regularly in the Bank of Lenny. Here's the Bank of Lenny. Let me show you from the supervisory elections. That's the Bank of Lenny. This next part is very important, and I'm going to tell you. The powers that be in the city will move to change the city-county consolidated charter in 2020. This is the part they don't want you to know. This is the sinister part of it. This is the shady part. This is the lack of transparent part. In order to create a wholly appointed school board, okay? Even a partially appointed board will change the nature of the board and the mayor's ability to control votes. The Duval County School Board is among the most, let me look at y'all, the most real estate asset-rich school district in this nation. Imagine a scenario where the bankers of Lenny divvy up these properties for their developer friends. This is what Anna Brochet, who's running for mayor, is talking about, these shady deals, these lack of transparency, these backhanded, behind closed doors, what I call backsided, blindsided deals that's hurting us and our children. This is what they're gonna do. Imagine a scenario where the bankers of Lenny divvy up these properties for their developer friends in addition to having control of the school board budget. Folks, it's coming unless we stop it. See, they don't want me to be out here talking about it. What was so sad was the members of the North Riverside have signed the opposition of the sale of Forest Park, and we have the petitions. Show them the petitions. Here's some of the petitions where people are in opposition to the sale of Forest Park. And they live on the other side over there in North Riverside.
We had a lot of people sign these petitions that live right in the Mixon Town area, and some of them we just got people, period, that did not know about the deal that was struck in February. But most of the people that lived in this area had no idea that Forest Park was going to be sold, was going to be developed into a charter school. We were at school board, we were at the committee meeting today when they did discuss rebuilding a park. We heard many different things, but we're going to hold them accountable and demand that they replace the park appropriately with, as it says in the government, for every square foot they take, we want it back. We don't want little small parks here and there with possibly, if you want to give us something to kayak on, we're not, most people I know aren't big kayakers. If you're into kayaking, great. But most of the kids here like to play basketball. They like to play football. If it's big enough to learn to play soccer, great. We want something that the kids can appreciate, that the neighborhood can appreciate, that was taken from us because of the cremator, when they said they were going to remediate this area.
And one of the things I want to say to you, because a lot of people ask, this is Garrett Dennis's district. And what you don't know is that Garrett Dennis was blindsided by this, because they were already working in the community to do this, and they had already gotten the 13 votes to sign off on selling this without his knowledge. So in order to make sure that the 1.5 million stayed in the neighborhood, he had to sign off on it, and they agreed to fix up this building and keep it. So Garrett Dennis did not know about this, but he was kind of forced. This is the kind of stuff that we talked about that they do. They strong arm people into doing it. He asked for a deferral last night for 2 weeks to get the community to buy in, and guess what? Terrence Freeman, Tommy Hazouri, Randy White, who are all running for, and Sam Newby, all running for councilman at large, wouldn't even allow the public to be able to buy in, and gave him opposition to this. Folks, we need to change this. Councilman Reggie Gaffney, please help us save our park since you say you love it. Stop the sale and the land grab of Forest Park if you say you love it. We deserve fairness, we deserve transparency, and we deserve a fair government that care about our children. Help save Forest Park for our kids. Thank you. This is Denise Hunt, a consistent voice. I'll always bring you the authentic truth. Thank you, Walter, for being out here. And thank you for everybody that tuned in to help get this out and share it. Thank you. Have a great day.